design is not about aesthetics, right?
Well, it is at some point, but it's not only about
It's not just
right?
about aesthetics.
To me, it's really about the details, of which aesthetics is one part of that. And in some contexts, aesthetics don't matter a ton. In other contexts, the rendering of like a dashboard may have a lot to do with the way the data is interpreted. Signal, noise, irrelevant information, charts that lie, like typography, these kinds of details matter. And those are things where, yes, you can get better at it on your own, or you can hire someone to do it. Yeah. I can probably learn Python. Like I was an okay coder. I've built a lot of my own little applications in Cold Fusion and Ruby on Rails, and people don't hire me to write Python, but if I needed to go learn it, I probably could. Can I do it fast enough, securely enough? Can I write secure code that compiles properly and that tests right and all of that? Right. So the question is, do you want to start changing the ship, which might mean your designers have to write a little code because you're resource constrained, but we're all contributing to that? Well, that's one way. Or you can hire experts and pop them into your organization and get the acceleration there. That's really just a resource issue. But I want to invite people to try these processes. It's sometimes called design thinking. By the way, design thinking was basically a marketing term for design. And when they put the thinking part in it, it took it out of the visual aesthetics world into it's an approach to problem solving. Okay, I can do that too. It was actually really smart marketing in a very smart way. I think it was IDEO's positioning to do that. I'm fine with that. I don't use that term. I like the idea of design doing, because sometimes I think we design thinking. It's like, well, I did the thinking and now I'm off to doing stuff. It's like, well, let's have more design doing, let's just call it design then, because that's so really true. What it is.
That is so true. And I feel like, every business owner knows, or every CEO of a startup or any founder knows how it feels like to be thinking too much and not acting on your thinking, or at least not enough. But Brian, I know that to fix this gap, you've got a seminar that you run twice a year. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Who's that for, and what's the format?
Sure. Yeah. So the seminar it skews towards more the enterprise, my enterprise clients. So enterprise data science teams, analytics teams, BI teams, technical product management. Sometimes we have some software industry people there too. That seminar is for both private teams, but I also run it twice a year with public cohorts. So individuals can just sign up instead of being part of a team there. And that is it's an 8 to 10 week seminar. I'm always listening to my customers, getting feedback and changing the format. So almost every time I run it, something has changed, because I look at it, it's not done. For designers, it's never done. It's a continuum of improvement. So I'm always changing it. But right now, it's 10 weeks. It's probably going to move to 8 weeks, and I'm going to compress a little bit. But we have 8 different modules that we work through together, and those are delivered via videos and text supplements, which give very detailed instructions, like how do I do a usability test? How do I design a prototype? Like what's sketching? What is design jams? What is writing a design brief and an ideation session? How do I run the session? It gives step-by-step instructions for data professionals on how to do that, to start to really get to this point where we're designing for outcomes instead of outputs. So that's the goal of it. I'm very big on trying to attract people who want to try to use this in their work, because if you want to learn how to ride a bike, you don't get a book. You get on the bike and you start. So the people that get the most out of it are the ones that have live projects and they're willing to try to use the modules in their real work. And we meet 1 or 2 times a week through live video calls, and we work through the stuff together. We sometimes we get into the organizational issues and some of that, and we talk about some other strategies and things that are a little outside of the design thing. But whatever I can do to help people kind of get the more bridges built, so they're on the right path there. That's what our live calls are about there. And then recently I've just started kind of developing a practicum to go with this as well. Sometimes teams have struggled to figure out, how do I insert this into my current project? Like, we're 9 months in on this giant enterprise thing. Can't really redo this part of it. So we have some kind of exercises that we do as well. Right now they're kind of themed around COVID-related dashboarding stuff, because I wanted it to be something realistic that we all could kind of relate to here. So I'm using kind of COVID as a domain for us to work on as a way to practice some of the materials that are in there. So So it's very much geared to people that are in leadership positions in data science, analytics, digital transformation, these kinds of areas. Sometimes we have designers and UX people in there as well, but it's really skewed towards.
And how long does it go for? You mentioned that probably.
It's 10 weeks. It's probably going to move to 8 weeks, and I'm going to compress a little bit more stuff into those 8 weeks. And the next one starts in March. March 2022. I think March 28th is like the first week or something like that. So registration will open in
fantastic.
March.
So I might add a link to the show notes for those that are interested to check it out.
Sure.
For sure.
Yeah, it's designingforanalytics.com/the seminar, all one word. That's how you get to it.
The seminar. There you go. Well, Brian, and there's a gazillion other topics I'd like to talk to you about, but I'm afraid we're running out of time for today and already took 10 minutes more of your time. So
it's been great to be here and chat with you. So
yeah, I really wanted to thank you for sharing these insights and just in general for being this voice in my head. I've been listening to your podcast for 2 or 3 years now.
Wow! Thank you.
It's been really, really useful to hear a different perspective, a different mindset, a different thinking compared to what seems to be the norm around here. And I was one of those that associated design with the realm of artists and particularly focused on aesthetics. And through your podcast, I learned that it's so much more, and it's way more interesting than I thought. So
excellent. Well, like I said, it does reap rewards for others. Even if you're not the one doing it, you can benefit from it as someone that's contributing to a big project. I think it's fun to do it, and it will probably change your whole perspective on how you do the thing that you're good at. If it's you're a data engineer, whatever, you will see value in that. I think having that lens, at least on your work.
One last thing: when can people follow you? Is it Twitter mainly? Or LinkedIn or both?
I'm most active on LinkedIn, so it's just Brian T. O'Neill. You'll find me. My company is called Designing for Analytics. I am on Twitter, not super a ton, but it's Rhythm Spice. It's RHYTHM Spice. That's because I'm a drummer, and that's where that comes from. I like Mexican food from Arizona. Rhythm Spice.
Cool. So, we'll leave it at that. Thanks a lot, Brian. Thanks again, and enjoy the rest of your evening, afternoon there.
Thank you so much.